Leah Fedor is a junior at Lakewood High School who started her first day of school by being wrapped up in a controversy surrounding the school's dress code. The 16-year-old junior got in trouble for her outfit being a distraction and implicitly sexual. Her story then blew up on social media with arguments inflaming on both sides.
My name is Leah Fedor, and I'm a junior at Lakewood High School. I was at lunch, and a lunch monitor/teacher pulled me out in the hallway and told me that there was a group of staff making comments about how my shirt was see-through, and I needed to go to the house office. They said, well, you're not wearing a bra, and I said, I didn't know that was part of the dress code. I started getting really upset, kind of really argumentative, just because I didn't think that I should have been dress coded whatsoever. And they wanted me to put on a big shirt over what I was already wearing, and I said, no, I'm not out of dress code, I look fine. And I was telling them, this is the shape of my breast, this is not the color of it, it's not see-through, it's just the shape. When I went to the principal's office, she wanted to know the whole story. I told her about it, and she told me that her final decision is that it is inappropriate. My shirt was inappropriate for school. She told me that if I was wearing a bra, we would not be having this conversation. I went out, they gave me a shirt to put on over what I was wearing, and I kind of went about my day after that. I was really upset. It's the first day of school. I just thought it was totally unnecessary, but I got over it somewhat for the rest of the day. And later, my mom told me that she got a call from the school, and the secretary answered and said that I wasn't wearing a bra. You could see my nipples through my shirt. And then my mom was super frustrated by that. Then the secretary said that she could talk to the principal. So when the principal came on, she told my mom that, oh no, it's not because her nipples were showing. It was because if she raised her arms, then you could see her midriff, and that's against the dress code. And when she told me that, I was so confused. First of all, my mom was also confused because the secretary just said a few minutes before that it was because I wasn't wearing a bra. And then the principal came on and said that. And I remember before I went to the office, I tucked in my shirt in my pants. Even though it was long enough, I tucked it in just because I didn't even want to have to think about it or worry about it, So that was really confusing. My mom said that she was going to call back the next day. A few days later, there's a Cleveland.com article about a dress code, Lakewood High School dress code, and I was reading it, and it said, the headline was, student gets dress coded for exposed back. And I was reading it, I was like, is this another situation? And I keep reading, I'm like, oh my God, this is about me. They basically called the school to see what happened because of the big social media uprising about it. And the school spokeswoman told them that it was because my back was exposed. And that was I was so mad about that, and because they didn't tell the truth. They didn't tell why. No one ever told me that my midriff was showing whatsoever. It got out on Twitter that wasn't the true story. I ended up telling or making just kind of a simple thing what happened, just sent it out there actually someone asked me to do that because I was upset and I didn't feel like dealing with it, and they said that would be the best thing to do. So I did that, and that went everywhere. And this girl, Sarah Pepe, she decided to make a protest about this, and the news found out about that. I'm not sure if she called them or whatever. After the protest, they made a new Cleveland.com article telling what really happened. So a lot of people had stuff to say about the way I looked, about how this isn't an important subject, that there are more important things to be worrying about, that we were being bratty, that it's all about that. And there's saying stuff about my parents, about how they would feel. Part of me was super upset about that, and I kind of went on and off between being I don't want anything to do with this anymore, I'm done, this is too much, to also it's just starting a huge conversation, good and bad, and that's what I want. That's what we all want. This is what we got noticed, and I think we knew that part of me knew that there was going to be negativity about it because people already had negativity towards it before the news got involved. They censored all of our chests with a black little censor bar, which was hilarious. It was ridiculous. First of all, they were censoring people wearing black shirts. I was wearing a white shirt, so I'm 16 years old. I'm not. They kind of tried to put in the sexual part of what we're trying to get rid of. They were trying to sexualize the whole situation, which we weren't trying to do.
The woman's body has always been seen in our society in very contradicting ways. It is seen as an object to be either used for someone else's advantage or to be hidden when not appropriate. Women and girls are under immense pressure their whole lives based on what they wear and how they present themselves.
Dress code basically correlates and supports rape culture, and rape culture is the normalization of rape. When a girl is raped, a lot of times there's, well, what was she wearing? How much was she drinking? How was she acting? There's all these questions. It's victim blaming. When you tell a girl that she's distracting, that she's inappropriate, that her body, this isn't just about clothing, this is about the body, okay? When they told me that I looked inappropriate because you could see the shape, my natural shape, that is telling me, they said that was inappropriate, they said it was improper, they said it was distracting. You're telling the girl that she's being distracting for the male's education. In the long run, it's like in teaching young girls and young boys that the girl needs to cover themselves up or, dress a certain way, act a certain way to not get raped. We need to be teaching people that no matter what someone looks like, no matter what they're wearing, no matter how they present themselves, they deserve respect. A lot of people were saying stuff like, oh, what kind of father would let their daughter go out like that? People were taking as far as saying it turned into this really screwed up slut shaming, which it was so confusing to me because I don't know where that even comes from, depending on if I'm wearing a bra or not, because that was kind of the big headline was the newscaster was to wear a bra or not to wear a bra? That is the question. I was so why is slut coming out of this? Why does that have anything to do with it? It's sexualizing girls. It's also sexualizing boys in the way that it's teaching them that they can't control themselves if a girl is showing, if part of her body is showing. It's I would be, if I was a boy, I would be offended because boys have self-control. They do. I disagree with anything that's saying oh, well, you're not allowed to wear short skirts because we're trying to prepare you for the real world, for professional world. Well, not everyone feels comfortable wearing pants and a shirt. That's just, it's generalizing. It's saying that people say it's just not that big of a deal, Leah, just put on some pants and a long shirt, it's not that big of a deal. Well, it is a big deal to me because that's not how I feel confident with myself. That's not how I feel comfortable. People can come to school wearing a big baggy shirt and big baggy pants that they might not wear to work one day to their professional job or whatever. Most people don't come to school in a business suit. No one does. You know what I mean?
Many of the arguments suggest that the rules that regulate young women's outfits will help them later in life in professional and academic settings. The dress codes are apparently put in place to prepare them for the real world, but the truth is that women deal with a tremendous amount of sexual assault, reported or not, in the workplace or college settings. Having women feel like they are the victim in these situations is the reason why less than 5% of rapes or attempted rapes against women in college are reported to the police. We need to start teaching young men that it's their responsibility to respect the woman's body, instead of telling females to adjust the way they look to not be a distraction.
Damn it. That was me.
All right, we got one that's probably